P. Yakubu Abdulmumin has been arrested by men of Ogun State Police Command. The suspect was arrested in Songo Ota in Ado Ota local government area of the state. The police public relations officer in the state, Abimbola Oyemi, who disclosed this in a statement today, said Abdulmumin, who was convicted for conspiracy and culpable homicide in Kogi State and sent to Kuje, says the Commissioner of Police, Lanre Bankole, has ordered the State Criminal Investigation Department to facilitate the transfer of the convict to Correctional Center with immediate effect. 14 directors has been shortlisted for the position of new Accountant General of the Federation AGF. A circular by the Office of Accountant General of the Federation signed by the Director of Administration, Maria A.J. was received by the Head of Civil Service of the Federation on July 6, 2022. The circular was in response to directive by the Head of Civil Service for a list of eligible directors, one of whom will become the Accountant General of the Federation. Most directors of finance and administration in ministries, departments, and agencies are more often deployed from the office of the Accountant General of the Federation. In her letter, Rufai represented details of some tentative directors from the office of the Accountant General of the Federation and requested for further necessary action. Meanwhile, 14 directors that will be screened for the position of the AGF are Mohammed Mutala Saleh, Chizia Onitsha Peter, and Ilidia Jafaya Shehu from the office of the Accountant General of the Federation. Others are Bakari Modife Juliana, Ministry of Police Affairs, Aladi Comfort Zakoi, NSCDC, Abba George Fedlis, Nigerian Immigration, Omachi Ramon Omeka, Ministry of Interior, and Ibrahim Sadia Jibo, National Boundary Commission. Those who are also made the list are Mohammed Aminu Abba, Federal Fire Service, Samuel A. Waziri, Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mahmoud Adamu Kambari, Northeast Development Commission, Mohammed Magaji Doho, Federal Minister of Education, Muftahu Bakoli, Federal Minister of Transportation, and Yusuf Abdullahi, Federal Minister of Information and Culture. The process of selecting substantive Accountant General of the Federation in recent years have always captured the attention of public, while the government has tried to select who to consider best for them slots. And now to sporting arena. The Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Sunday Dare, has reaffirmed his administration will continue to pay equal attention to the affairs of Nigerian youth in equal measure as gives sport in the country. Muhammad Thanu Uba has detail of this and other sports updates.
Sunday Dare said since he assumed office as Youth and Sport Minister, he has initiated several programs and schemes to support the dreams and aspirations of Nigerians youth. Recognizing the fact that the youth are the life wire of the country, one of the achievements of Sunday Dare as Minister of Youth and Sport Development was the first ever National Youth Convention held in Abuja last year. It was a platform that brought youth from all over Nigeria to one room and brainstorm on issues that concern the population. Meanwhile, Super Falcons captain Onome Ebi is anticipating a top duel against Cameroon in their 2022 Women's Africa Cup of Nations quarter-final clash, scheduled to take place at the Stade Mohammed V, Casablanca, Morocco. The Super Falcons defeated the indomitable Lions on penalties, the last time both teams met in the semi-final of the WAFCON 4 years ago in Ghana. Ebi insisted that the title holders are up for the challenge once again. In another update, Leeds United forward Rafinha is set to join Barcelona after the two clubs agreed on a deal. The move for the 25-year-old Brazil playmaker is reportedly worth an initial 58 million euros. Similarly, Raheem Sterling has confirmed his Manchester City departure and said he is leaving the club as a man. The 27-year-old 50 million euros move to Premier League rival Chelsea is expected in the next 24 hours. The England forward issued a heartfelt goodbye message to his former teammates and the club staff and fans on his social media account. And on tennis, Andy Murray completed a dominant 6-2, 6-1 win over Sam Querrey at the Hall of Fame Open in Newport, Rhode Island. Fellow Briton Liam Brody was also in action at the tournament but lost 6-2, 4-6, 6-2 to Australian's James Duckworth, who Murray beat in the first round at Wimbledon last month. Muhammad Sanuba, Freedom Radio.
Many thanks, Muhammad Thanuba, for touring with us to the Hall of Sport. And Muhammad, and after reaching us, says Chelsea have confirmed the sensational signing of a Manchester City forward Raheem Sterling. The Blues agreed a deal with the reigning Premier League champions last week and will pay up to €50 million, including an odds for winger service. He underwent a medical in London over the weekend and has committed to a lucrative 5-year contract. Stamford Bridge with the option for an extra year and is becoming one of the highest paid players in the Premier League. The England winger becomes Chelsea's first signing of the summer transfer window and the first of the old volley after the American completed his spectacular takeover of the club earlier this summer. He flew out of the US this week to join the newly teammates for their pre-season tour. The Global News is coming to you from the News and Current Affairs Division of Freedom Radio 99, the Tribe FM. Welcome back, and now the Freedom Global News continues. The Kano State government has reassured the continuation of the fight against polio disease in the state, even though the disease has been eradicated in the state. The state governor, Abdullahi Umar Gandu, said this today while receiving the polio ambassadors delegation under the leadership of Kulle Ajenyenju in the state government house. The secretary to the state government, Alhaji Usman Alhaji, who represented the governor, says the state government has carried along both traditional institutions and religious leaders in the fight against the disease, which makes the fight a successful one.
Kano is actually the most populated state in the federation, and that alone tells you the fight that needs to be done to ensure that polio is eradicated because of the number of the people. We are also luckily the commercial hub. You just mentioned by traveling, you carry these viruses, and it is a fact that every blessed day, so many people from virtually all over the country and even from our neighboring countries do come to Kano to transact various businesses, and that also made the work of eradication also a little more difficult.
While delivering his speech, the leader of the polio ambassadors, Kulle Ajenyenju, says they are in the state to create more awareness on how to fight against the disease that it still exists in some parts of the world.
Kano has moved forward tremendously. My mission was simple. I wanted to bring awareness to the issue of polio in Africa and indeed the world over. We all know that, yes, Nigeria was certified polio-free. But does it mean the virus is no longer with us? The answer is no, it's still here. Because in as much as the virus is existing anywhere in the world, it will get to us because people travel, wind blow, the virus will come, just like COVID. We didn't have COVID. It didn't start from here, but we got it. So the same thing with the virus, in as much as it's existing in Afghanistan and Pakistan, it will happen. But the only way for us to prevent the virus from resurging in our community.
Correspondent Zahra Nasri reports that the event was attended by the state head of service, among other top government officials, including the state commissioner for health. An abandoned building has collapsed at Oke-Arin Street in Ilopuji area of Lagos State. According to Nosa Okumbo, head of public affairs, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, says the incident occurred around 12:45 a.m. today. In May, a 3-story building collapsed in the area, killing 10 people, while 24 persons were rescued. Within the past 3 months, the building collapsed in the second in Yaba Ibutu Meta axis. The Lagos State government had since ordered immediate stoppage of all approval for structures for above 3 floors in the axis. And now to international scene. Sri Lanka's Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe have been appointed acting president after the president fled the country amidst ongoing protests, the Speaker of the Parliament announces today. Mr. Rani also declares nationwide state of emergency, which is coming on the day the outgoing president, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, is expected to tender his resignation. Protesters have stormed the Prime Minister's office, trying to gain access. They had on Saturday set the Prime Minister's residence on fire. Mr. Rajapaksa on Tuesday fled the country, military jet to an unknown destination. The lawmakers say they will elect a new president on July 20th. The 2 million Sri Lanka have been suffering on horrifying financial turmoil with severe shortage of fuel, medicine, food, and other essential amid recorded high inflation and a devaluation of the country's currency. And now to business arena with Abdurrahman Hamisu Namadina.
The international benchmark for crude fell below $100 per barrel as the latest figures released by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries showed an increase in Nigeria's oil production from 1.024 million barrels per day to 1.158. Industry data indicated that Brent dropped in price by $7.72% to close at $99.38 per barrel as at 7 p.m. Nigerian time yesterday. According to crude oil production data obtained by OPEC from Direct Communication, this came as figures from OPEC monthly oil markets report for July 2022 showed that Nigeria's oil production increased by 134 million barrels per day in June 2022. Moving on to the prices of commodities at the Wano market in Kano, one bag of maize goes for 21,000 naira. Guinea corn goes for 22,000 naira and millet sold for 25,000 naira. Abdurrahman Hamis Namadina, Freedom Radio.
Many thanks, Abdurrahman, from the world of business. And listeners, this marked the end of today's global news. But before I sign out, a quick recap of the major headlines. 4 directors shortlisted for the Accountant General of the Federation position. Ogun State Police Command arrests 28-year-old person who escaped during Kuje prison invasion. Kano State Government reassures continuation of fight against polio disease. On the foreign scene, you've had Sri Lanka Minister appointed acting president declare state of emergency. On behalf of the News and Current Affairs Department, the entire production team, Muazu Muazu saying thank you for listening.
Freedom.